Hello, this is Mr. Mobility, and today I want to discuss with you about the length of your charger cable. The standard charger cable that most of us know that tend to come with our smartphone packages and that tend to come when we buy a charger is this guy. A 1 meter long charger cable. It can also be 0.8 meters, depending on the manufacturer and your location. 0.8 meters to 1 meter, we call it a standard charger cable. Should you ever need or should you ever use something longer than this and are there consequences? Let's start with the shorter one. If you have ever purchased a power bank, you're familiar with this length of cable. This is a short charger cable and it's about 27 to 30 centimeters in length. Why do power banks use a short charging cable like this? According to physics, the longer a charger cable is, the greater the resistance that electricity flowing through it has to overcome to get to the other end. So if you plug a power bank at this end, your smartphone at this end, there is a certain resistance that the current goes through to move from the power bank to your smartphone. Now, the longer the cable is, the greater the resistance. And what's the implication of that? The tendency for there to be heat generated, also the tendency for there to be some power loss between this point and this point. The greater the length of the charging cable, the greater the power loss from this point where the current comes in to the other end where the current enters into your phone. That's the principle. This offers the least amount of resistance. Good? Now, if we take a standard charging cable of about 0.8 to 1 meter, there is a greater resistance that the current has to endure compared to this. And this is why power banks use a shorter cable to avoid as much power loss as possible. But for wall socket charging, this is fine. 0.8 meters to 1 meter is fine. There is negligible power loss with this length. But then I found out that, and I know I'm breaking a rule of charging, because as a rule, when you're charging your phone, leave it alone. Don't use it. But how many of us really obey that rule? Okay, so I'm a culprit. So sometimes I am charging my phone and I need it to be in my hand because of one thing or the other. And this standard charger cable is too short. This 1 meter charger cable is too short. I have to bend over because the power socket is behind me, or bend like this because it's in front of me or beside me. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there before too, right? You're bending over, and then after a while, your neck is aching, your side is aching, and all of that. So what did I do? I decided that I needed a longer charger cable, and I got myself this guy. To give you an idea of how long this is, here is how they start together, right? And I'm going all the way, and then the standard charger cable ends here, and this guy still has this extra length to go. This is a 1.5 meter charger cable. The standard one is 1 meter. I have here 1.5 meters, and it is adequate. I am able to conveniently plug in my phone and hold it, do something without bending, all over the place. So, is it possible for a cable to be too long? Now, according to USB specifications, don't exceed 3 meters. Don't use a charger cable that is longer than 3 meters. So that means my 1.5 meter charger cable is quite good. Why should you not? All the specifications for USB cables give a maximum length of 3 meters to avoid significant power loss, to avoid significant resistance and all the attendant issues that come with it. So if you were to get a 3 meter charging cable, you'd be getting something twice the length of this bad boy here. And honestly, I don't know why you would want to get something longer than that. So keep your charging cable or keep your charger cable to a maximum length of 3 meters. And anytime you need to use a power bank, please don't use something this long. It's going to drain the power bank faster, and you will wonder where some of the power in the power bank went to. Where they went to? Resistance through a cable of this length. You can use a standard cable with a power bank too, but it will result in some power loss too. Not as much as what would happen with the 1.5 meter cable, but it will be some significant power loss as well. The best kind of cables to use with your power bank and your portable power source of any type or of most types is a short charger cable, 27 to 30 centimeters in length. That way, you're able to get power from the battery to your smartphone with the least amount of resistance and with the lowest amount of power loss. Let me have your comments about this. Do you still have one of these short cables or have you thrown it away? I know that, like myself, sometimes when you're using your power bank, you want a longer cable. If you need to, yes, do it, but as much as possible, stick to something like this. As you can see, I have at least 3 lengths, 3 types of charger cables. Whichever one I need, I can always jump between them depending on my need. And this standard one, I have God knows how many of them lying around, but I have only one of this, and I have about 2 or 3 of this. Don't forget the rule. The longer a cable is, the higher the resistance that the current that flows through it faces, the higher the heat generated, and the greater the power loss that is experienced between them. When you send power, electricity over long distances, there is some measure of power loss due to resistance. I hope I was able to explain that well. I'll see you again in my next video. Take care.